So this morning I was trying to fix my computer because clearly I know how to fix computers, and by accident I was trying to fix the J on my computer because it was really hard to type my name because the J wasn't working. So I tried to fix the key, but instead I broke the key off, so it doesn't really stay on there anymore. That's how my morning's going so far. That being said, usually when I'm not having like the best day, I like to do something that I really enjoy. And what I really enjoy is making and creating things. So today we're gonna be making a pair of the Saks Tots pair of pants. I've done this in the past, but I really wanna create them differently this time. So I'm gonna show you an alternative way to make these pair of pants. I have two fabrics here. I have this fun sparkly white light blue one and this sparkly orange fabric right here. This one I ended up getting off Etsy, so I'll link it down below where I purchased this one. And then this one I ended up purchasing from my local fabric store, but I'll link an alternative one down below. And then I also got some elastic here. This is a really soft, comfy elastic because elastic is gonna be exposed inside the pair of pants, so you definitely want something very soft on your waist, so I ended up getting this super soft elastic. Other than that, you just need some thread and a sewing machine and you're good to go to make these pair of pants. But the first thing we need to do is we need to make a pattern. So I'm gonna show you guys how you guys can make a pattern from your favorite pair of pants at home. Whoops. Oh, I'm sorry, I scared you. Benson was sleeping underneath my desk and then my big roll of paper fell. This big roll of paper fell and I woke him up and scared him. Oh, I think he's okay. He's suntanning outside now. Fine, he's fine. So now I have a pair of pants here and they're inside out. I really like the fit of these, so this is what I'm gonna be drafting my pattern off of. And what you wanna do is you wanna take one of the legs here, you wanna pull it through, and you're gonna take this right side out one and tuck it into the other leg. So your pants look like this. They only have one leg.
Hola guys. Okay, so first thing we need to do is we need a big piece of paper. You can grab newspaper or whatever you really want, but you just need a big piece of paper. Next thing is we are going to be tracing the front of the pair of pants. You're going to put it face down and you're just going to trace around the whole pair of pants at the top to the bottom and just trace it. Next, you're going to flip it over and you're going to trace the back of the pants to the booty. And this is a little bit more tricky because you do kind of have to roll over the fabric a bit because the back pattern is bigger than the front. So you guys will get it, but it's not too difficult. After that, what you want to do is you just want to kind of clean up your lines, just make it a bit nicer. I'm just taking my rulers and making it nice and pretty. And then after I was done that, I just took a marker and I just, marked it so I could see it. But we need to add some seam allowance to the bottom of the pants, so I'm just adding 2 inches, but you really can add as much as you want if you want the pants super long. Once you're done that, then we're ready to cut out the pattern, and that's it for making the pattern. I told you guys it was easy. It's so simple. Okay, we're ready to cut it out now. So what I like to do is I like to get my jewelry box, I like to get my candle holders, and I put it on top of the pattern piece. I also like to grab my marker that is washable. All you do is just put some water on it and it just kind of disappears the lines, and I like to use that marker and trace the pattern pieces. And then once I'm done that, I go ahead and just cut out the pieces and then we're good to go. That's just how I like to do it. I don't know, there's other ways. You can like pin the pattern pieces to the pants and then just cut it out, but I hate doing that, to be honest. I just like tracing it and then cutting it out. I just find it looks a lot cleaner. The pattern or the fabric, the pattern piece, and it's just easier to sew.
I'm done cutting everything out. We have the orange pants looking like this right now and the silver pants over here. Everything's cut out, so we can start. Before we start, I do want to mention that I'm going to be using my serger here, but you don't need a serger. You don't need a serger. I'm just using it just because it makes the edges really pretty. That's just preference, because you can use your regular sewing machine for this and your edges won't fray, so you don't need to worry about the edges. I'm just being a perfectionist with this, but we can start now. So I'm gonna show you guys on the ground of how to pin your pieces together, just because it's a little hard to show you like this.
Hola guys, I'm back again. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're taking a back piece and we're pinning it to a front piece, and you want to match them so right sides are together, and then you pin down the inner leg, the inner leg. Yeah, I think that's what you're called, but you're just doing what I'm doing here.
So this is what it should look like. It should be all kind of mixed matched here at the top. Like it should be uneven, the fabric, like it should not be lined up perfectly. You only want the seam here to be lined up perfectly. That is how you'll know that the front and the back are pinned together and not the front and the other front. Now we can just sew a straight stitch from the top of the crotch here all the way down to the bottom of the leg. And we're gonna do that for both legs, or yeah, both legs. So now that we're done the inner crotch seam, or technically it's the inner seam because the crotch seam is the seam we're doing next, but inner leg seam, I don't know. I'm just gonna call it inner leg seam. We're done the inner leg seam. Now we're gonna move on to the crotch seam. So we wanna open up our fabric like this. We're gonna take our other leg and we are gonna pin them together. So now we're finally pinning the front of the front leg, no, the two front legs together and the two back legs together. There we go. And what I like to do is I like to take the two inner seams here and line that up first with my pin. Flip those seams together so they are nice and lined up. And then I like to work my way to each side and pin them. But this is what it should look like. It should kind of look like a dress on you. So now you're probably like, Jenna, what the heck did you just make me make? How is this gonna turn into a pair of pants? Well, we just gotta do a little magic trick. What we're gonna do is you're just gonna open it up to the flaps, and then you're gonna tuck it underneath your chin, and ta-da! We have pants. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody's mind, but I gotta do this the opposite way. Wait, one sec. Ta-da! We got inside pants. But once you did that little flippity flip, 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 we just need to pin the sides together, and then we're getting close to finishing. I told you guys this was gonna be easy. It's pretty fast once you just get the hang of it. It's just like a lot of mental, because you're like, how do pants work? Like how do they make pants? Like how do you do that? And it's a little confusing, but once you get it down, it's real easy. So I got it pinned now. This is what my pants look like. You can just see it's all pinned down the sides here, both sides. So now I'm ready to sew the sides with the side seam. Yeah, side seam, a straight stitch. Let's do that. Look how fun these pants are! Like they're not done whatsoever, but I just wanted to see how the fit was, and they're a pretty nice fit. I made them so they were just a little bit oversized, so they're not like skin tight here, just because on the models on the Saxpot's website, they are a little big on the models, which I don't know is because the models are like super, super skinny, or they're just meant to fit like that. So I decided to make them a little bit bigger just because I like that fit. So I think I'm happy with this fit here, because we still have to do the seam down the leg, the front and the back, and then of course we're putting the waistband in, which will make it a lot nicer fitting, but it's so cute! So now that we have a pair of pants here, we need to now do the seam down the front of the legs and the back of the legs. You don't have to do this. This is kind of optional. You can just like leave them as is and just go to the next part where I do the elastic and the hemming. But personally, I really like that look, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the seam on the front of the pants and the back of the pants. So let me show you how you do it.
So what I'm doing here is I'm folding it in half, but I'm having the two side seams down the front and the back. So I like to feel it and make sure that they both lined up in the center. And then I just like to pin the sides because then we'll sew down the sides where it's pinned, and that will give us a nice straight line down the front and the back of the pants. So I'm just doing that. And then when you get to the top, you do want to line up the side seam to the crotch seam. That's what you're going to switch it up and just line those two up and do the exact same thing. We're just kind of feeling it and trying to line them up and then pin the sides.
So I ended up sewing one part of the leg on this one because my sewing machine already had white thread in there, so I got lazy. I'll change it later, but I had a heck of a time trying to find the right needle. I totally forgot that you need to use special needles for spandex, and I purposely bought stretch needles and they do not work, or at least for my machine. So for my machine, I had to use a size 11 needle and now it works perfect, but most people use stretch needles and they work. But my machine doesn't like it.
So for sewing the seam down the front of your leg, I am just doing a straight stitch, and unfortunately it's a little difficult because you do kind of have to just eyeball it and try to get it close to the edge. You can go ahead and tape your machine if you want to have a line that you follow. I just followed a certain point on my foot, and that's how I got it to go straight, but I also have a tiny foot on my machine right now. But really just do what works for you.
I was too excited. I had to try them on and look how cute they look. I want to cry, I'm so happy with them. And then this is the orange pair, which, let me just try it on for you guys. They're so cute! Oh my goodness. I love them. Look at them. Look how cute they are. They're both so cute. So, other than them just being like super, super awesome, we need to put the elastic on it. So I need to figure out how tight I want it around my waist. You definitely want it tight. Don't make it too loose, but you also don't want to make it too tight. So I don't know if that was really good advice. You just want to find a nice comfortable width for your waistband, or length. Is it width or length? Either way, you gotta make it comfortable. So now I got both of my elastics. So now what we're gonna do is we need to sew them into a circle.
So I'm just taking the two ends of the elastic and I am just doing a straight stitch back and forth a few times just to keep it into place, and that's how I made a circle of the waistband.
So now that we have our elastic sewn like this, we want to go ahead and we want to attach it to our waist here. So what I'm gonna do, this is the back, so I'm gonna line up these seams together and I'm gonna put right sides together. So I'm gonna put this nice sides facing this nice side on the outside. And then I just clip them together, so it should look like this. And then I need to attach it all the way around. And what I like to do to align the waistband now to the rest of the pants is I like to stretch it so the fabric actually lines up with the waistband and it's actually not saggy, because the waistband on the pants are bigger than the waistband we just cut. So we need to kind of stretch it out a bit. But pretty much I align the 4 seams and then I work my way in and clip the the rest of the waistband. So for sewing it now, either use a zigzag stitch, or if you have a serger, use your serger, but because this is stretchy, straight stitch probably will break eventually when you stretch it a lot, so I recommend using one of your zigzag stitch, or if you have a special stitch on your sewing machine, use one of those. Don't use a straight stitch for this. So now we are on our second to last step, and we're gonna be doing some sewing in the ditches. We are gonna fold it inwards like so, so we want it to look like this, but it won't really stay, like it will kinda, but we want it to be nice and secure. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna fold it inside. I'm gonna take some of my handy clips, and I am just gonna clip down the waistband to where I want it, which is pretty close up to the top of the seam there. Okay, so now I have it all pinned like this, so now we're actually gonna do the sewing in the ditches. I think that's what it's called. Let me explain it first before we get into it. So what we're gonna do is pretty much our seam right here, yeah, we're just gonna sew down like 2 inches, and yeah, just try to sew inside the seam so it holds down the elastic, and we're gonna do that on all 4 seams. I think I want to do it on all 4 seams just so it's extra secure, and that's what sewing in the ditches. I think that's what it's called now. Now I'm starting to second guess myself. I thought I was being smart. This is the waistband now. It looks so good. Now that we're done the waistband, the only thing left is to hem these bad boys. And some of you might be kinda, you know, done with sewing by now, so I wouldn't blame you guys if you guys just went ahead and just trimmed them just because they're not gonna fray. So it doesn't really need a nice hem unless you want a nice hem. So option 1, take one of these bad boys, a rotary cutter, and you just cut a nice straight line and you're done. Option 2 is we can do a nice hem, which I will show you guys because, man, I really just want to cut it though. It's so much easier because then I'm done, but do I just want to cut it? Is it okay if I just cut it today? Because I don't feel like doing it, and it also sits really nicely at the bottom, so we're cutting it. We're cutting it today. I'm lazy.
So for cutting the bottom of the pants, all I'm doing is I'm taking a clear ruler and just lining it up and cutting a straight line. It's really, really simple, and I'm doing that for both legs. I measured it out to see how much I had to take off both of them, so they're even, so you might want to do that before. But once you're done cutting them like so, you can go to your sewing machine and you can just sew the seams, so the seams don't unravel and your pants don't come apart. So just do a couple back stitches on each one.
My stomach is honestly growling like crazy. I am so hungry, so I'm gonna show you guys the pants now. I have them done. I have the sparkly silver ones on, and this is what the orange ones look like. I'll try them on for you, but I wanna show you guys the sparkly ones because these by far are, I don't know if I wanna say they're my favorite pants, but they're pretty far up on the list now. And you guys know how much I love my fun pants, so that's how much I love these pants, is that they're in my top 3. But here they are. Here are the pants. I'm so happy with them. They look exactly like the Saks Potts pants. I gotta say, I did a good job. I'm gonna toot my own horn just because I'm very proud of myself. I have done this a lot of times, so that's why I'm very confident with them, and I was able just to fly through them. But, oh my goodness, they look so good. I don't even know. I'm so happy. Okay, let me show you the orange pair. Oh my goodness. Here are the orange pair. What do you guys think? Which one is your favorite? Do you guys like the orange pair or the silver pair more? I'm kind of leaning towards the silver, but I also do love orange. Like, I really do love these orange pants. I did such a good job. And these are also very comfy. This is what it looks like up close. In the waist, you can see, you can't even see the elastic, you can't see the stitches, and they look just like the Saks Potts pants. Anyways, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed sewing some pants with me today. I had a fun time. I feel a lot better. I feel really good now. I'm super happy with how they turned out. I just love doing crafts. It just like makes me feel so much better after, so thanks for sewing with me, guys. But if you guys do try to make a pair of pants, it doesn't have to be with sparkly fabric. It can be with any fabric you like. Just have to be a stretchy fabric for these ones. But if you do make a pair, tag me on Instagram at @JennaPhipps because I want to see what you guys make. I want to see. I forgot to cut a string. One sec. There. But yeah, I want to see what you guys make. So tag me on Instagram if you do make one. That's it. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm gonna go buy a burrito because I haven't had one in a long time. And every single time I film a video, I feel like I eat a burrito, but I'm really hungry, so bye.